Hello, everybody. My name is Delzoy Slit, and today we're doing a reaction video. Anyways, we're getting into the shit. So this is about Foundry, aka a magnificent motherfucking channel, which people have put in so much work and effort to. And then I'm just gonna do a reaction video because fuck it, I'm gonna watch it. And I also want to watch it with the rest of y'all. But this one's gonna be about contracts as a magic system. That is the title. Anyways, I'd like to go into the description and do as I'm doing right now. Like this motherfucker. Thank you very much. Please go down and do it again. Well, go to the original video and like it, and also subscribe to them, and then comment on their video. Thank you very much for doing all those things. I will lovely be watching this now. Let's get into it.
And
Oh
all
shit,
you
let's
have.
push the zero.
Would you ever make a deal with the devil? I know the right answer is no, but I wouldn't blame you if you said yes.
So, like, the right answer is no if we're talking about, like, Christian devil. If we're talking about, like, technically making a deal with the Fae, probably still no. And depending on which religion you know, you could make deals with plenty of supernatural figures. Problem is that most of them will fuck you over. But at the same time, um, I'd probably just be like, yo, I know I'm going to not make it to heaven. Can I like make a deal to be your servant as long as you don't fucking fuck me up at the same time, you know? For my loyalty, don't fuck me up. That way I can at least secure me a decent afterlife. Holy shit, I just realized what the perfect deal for the devil would be for me. Ah, fucking hell. Anyways, let's go.
It would be tempting. All that power or knowledge or wealth at your fingertips, and all you have to do is sign your name. Sure, there's a steep price to pay. You know there is. This is the
This
devil.
goofy
He
ass
doesn't have
looking
your best
dude.
interest at heart. But it is still a contract, and it still goes both ways. There's always an escape clause, if you read the fine print. Because of these qualities, this kind of magically binding contract is a popular choice for villains working to ensnare our plucky hero.
Yeah.
Until, of course, the hero inevitably turns the tables and gives the villain a taste of their own medicine. Disney movies are particularly rife with this dynamic. You see it show up in The Little Mermaid, Hercules, and The Princess and the Frog, just off the top of my head. But we already...
Zazie, due to the fact I'm in the middle of a reaction video, I will not do this. I will do it after the video, but normally I have to get down and do push-ups because you redeem that. And I will do so. I just will do them after the video because I don't think people will like it if I just pause mid-video and start doing fucking push-ups and shit.
We made a video about why villains love contracts. This video is about something else. This time I want to talk not about the broker behind the magical contract, but about the magic of the contract itself. Think about it. A magic system consists of rules that the magic, ostensibly, has to follow. A magic contract would just be a tighter, more concise version of that. But instead of ancient runes and forgotten tongues, this magic is written in a different language. One just as daunting to learn, and perhaps even more dangerous. Legalese. All you have to do...
And that redeem... Okay, Zazie, are you just going down the redeem list to ask what the fuck they all do? Okay, so nun mode, so I'm just gonna tell you what the fuck nun mode is. Remember how, do you know how a nun gets on their knees and prays? Yeah, I sit in my chair like that. Oh no, the thing is, I'm gonna give you your points back on this redeem, because I was already doing so. That's one of the ones where I was already doing it. So give me like a little second. Okay, now we're getting. You should have your points back. The fucking beautiful animation that they use every time. It's so good.
Are you enjoying the video so far?
Yes, motherfucker.
I hope so. These magic system videos are some of our favorites to make. We've
Zazie, my streams are not safe for children or people who are young. They shouldn't be anywhere near any of my shit. If you're a child watching this, get the fuck off. But at the same time, Zazie, if you want to be safe, so you can. But at the same time, you don't have to be around here.
actually been doing it for quite a while. In fact, there are some really unique ones that we've made that aren't here on YouTube. Like this.
Wait, they got rid of those? Wait, these aren't on YouTube anymore? Because I remember the. Wait, some of these are super familiar. What the fuck?
One about artificial life as a magic system. Golems, gingerbread men, automatons, living statues, artificial intelligence. Just this interesting idea that crafting
Also, Zazie, yeah, you may be pure, but at the same time, if I find you're 18, I'm banning you. Easy as that. That's the reason why, like, other people who come into my streams, I gotta get rid of you. Sorry, bro.
can somehow beget life, or that life itself can be used as a crafting material. It was a really fun, really unique video for us. Definitely a highlight in this series. If you want to watch it and a bunch of other
Hmm.
stuff that we haven't uploaded here on YouTube, you can find all of it ad-free over on our streaming platform, Nebula. There is
Da
so
da
much stuff
da
there
da
that will
da
just
da da.
never be here on YouTube. We even have a whole original series over there called
Will
Worldsmiths.
Smith.
Visit go.nebula.tv/tailfoundry to sign up for just $2.50 a month.
Zazie, I know it's clear, but this is also pertaining to YouTube as well. Because I've been noticing that my YouTube analytics are telling me more children are starting to watch me. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. Get the fuck off. So, this is me kind of talking to the people who will watch this eventually.
In Celtic mythology, there's this interesting thing that shows up in a lot of stories called a gesh. If you play D&D, you might already recognize this. It's a sort of curse, or sometimes blessing, that only activates if certain conditions are met. Cuchulainn, the demigod hero of the Irish
Kukulin.
mythological
Yeah,
Ulster
that
cycle,
spear.
is a great example of this. He has not one, but two geshin placed upon him. One to never eat the meat of a dog, and another to never refuse food offered by a woman. Should he do either, his spirit will weaken to the point where he is, unthinkably, actually vulnerable on the battlefield.
Hmm.
And it's this one stipulation on his powers that finally allows his enemies to best him.
Zazie, I think it's slipping from you. Don't worry, it's still scripted.
When they send a woman to offer him a meal of
If anyone wants to know what the fuck I mean by scripted, go to Zazzy's channel. Navi, not Navi Zazie. That was her old name. Just go to Zazzy's VT. Yeah, sorry. Go to their channel because fuck it. If you want to know what the hell script means, look for any video where I appear.
dog meat, he's placed in the impossible position of breaking one gesh or the other.
That's it.
He must never eat meat from a dog, but he is also unable to refuse food offered by a woman. And so, with no other option, he accepts and breaks one of his two geshin. And he is so weakened by this action that his enemies, at last, are able to slay him.
Hmm.
This feels like a sort of magical contract, doesn't it? There's a
Yeah.
condition to fulfill, an if-then statement. If
Mm-hmm.
you don't eat the meat of a dog, then you will remain strong and fearsome. But it doesn't quite meet the mark. You see, contracts have to be agreed upon by both parties, even if under duress.
Yeah.
Even if they don't want to sign, the important part is that they did. And as we saw with Cuchulainn, Geshin don't really work that way. It's
Yeah.
possible to place a gesh on an unwilling victim, which makes it much more like a curse than a contract. Similarly, promises or vows are also closely related to contracts, but don't quite qualify either.
This reminds me of a fucking character whose entire thing, like, also this is an OC of mine, just a random ass character that I came up with, and the entire concept for them was any promise they made to themselves they would never fulfill. Any promise they made to another they would always be able to fulfill it, even if it was impossible or improbable. So if you told them, I will not stop fighting until I get one person, they will literally not be able to die. They will just continue to exist until they get that one person. The thing about that idea for a promise is that, well, he never said that he will only do things to get to that person. So we can then just wait. Work time. Okay, see you later, Zadi.
We actually made a video about that too.
Mm-hmm.
Promises as a magic system, because it really is a different thing. A promise or a vow or an oath is usually an expression of good faith rather than an exchange between two parties. They usually
Yeah.
operate on the spirit or intention of the agreement, whereas contracts tend to focus on the letter. You can't usually weasel your way out of a promise you made by quibbling about the wording. So, contracts must be, at least superficially, agreed upon by both parties.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And when there's magic involved, that gets interesting pretty fast. They could be two magic users, and of course, they often are. But contracts between two magicians on equal footing, such as an unbreakable vow, are
Mm-hmm.
rarely the basis for an entire magic system. After all, that magic had to come from somewhere, right?
Right.
Usually, contracts between two magic users exist within the context of a broader, non contract based magic system.
Hmm.
It's much more common for contract based magic systems to exist between a magic user and a non magic user. Like the
Yeah.
deal with the devil we spoke about earlier, the oldest and
Hey,
possibly most
CJ, welcome
prevalent
in.
form of magical contracts are those struck between a mortal and a supernatural being of some kind. Fairies, demons,
Demons,
genies,
kings,
witches,
kittens.
you know the type. How enticing to have one of these magical agents offer you a way to tap into forces that have never before
Every
been
fucking
accessible
D&D
to you,
warlock.
even if it comes at a price. And make no mistake, it usually does.
Does.
But not always. In other interpretations of this dynamic,
I really like the idea of the warlock just being given their powers. So like, so I have to do something. It's like, no, 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 no. Just use them. Get stronger with them. And then when you die, you just die. Okay, you're free to do whatever. And I love that interpretation purely under the idea that, well, you're making his power stronger. He's loaning it out so you can grow it out for him, stretch it for him, and then when you die, it goes back to him. So he wants to support you to make you as strong as possible, and he gives out a little fraction of himself to everyone so that they can slowly grow it up, and then he just gets good good return investments. Meh.
the magic user might offer their favor with no expectations at all, but they also operate on extremely precise wording, leading to a monkey's paw scenario, while a wish
Mm-hmm.
is subverted while technically still being fulfilled. Genies and jinn are especially notorious for this, but it's hardly limited to them, and certainly not always malicious. One of my favorite ever examples of a magical agent taking advantage of a hapless mortal comes from the anime Puella Magi Madoka Magica, a name I probably just
Wait a damn second. Is that the show where the little girls become witches and monsters due to them becoming magical girls?
butchered. In the show, an adorable little cat-like creature called
Yep.
Kyubey goes around offering ordinary young girls a single wish, no strings attached. All they have to offer in exchange is a lifetime of grueling service as monster-fighting magical girls. Surprisingly, unlike many such magical agents, Kyubey
Mm-hmm.
doesn't attempt to undermine the girls' wishes by focusing on their wording. He lets them have what they want. He just doesn't tell them the full story about what they'll be giving up. And the results are truly horrifying.
Mm-hmm.
Watch the anime if you want to know what I mean. I don't have the heart to say it here. Suffice to say,
Oh, I have the heart to say it, and I think I already did.
none of these little girls would have accepted the terms of the contract if they could really wrap their head around what it was they were agreeing to. And this is one of the hallmarks of magical contracts of this kind. Whenever we see a fairy or a genie or a creepy magic
I love this because the genie is obviously the big one. The fae is a big ass one. But this fucker, this thing, this abomination against all matter, it is just ugh.
magical cat creature enter a contract with an ordinary person, we wonder immediately how it's going to go wrong. Most of the time, these stories devolve into a battle of wits between the two signatories, each looking for a loophole to get the best of the other party, without technically violating the terms they agreed to. In the web serial Pact by J.C. Wildbow McCrae,
Oh, that's sneeze.
humans who
Sorry.
have no innate powers wield magic by binding and making deals with supernatural beings like ghosts, goblins, and demons called others. That's others with a capital O.
Mm-hmm.
And when human practitioners deal with others, They often write actual contracts, complete with arbitration clauses designating a mediator if there's to be a dispute in the terms. The universe of Pact is based on a give and take, a karmic scale that balances itself out as a natural law, the way a sea must settle after a storm. One of the major drawbacks practitioners face is the fact that magic users, including others, cannot lie without being karmically punished by a loss of strength. The characters, therefore, must word their statements carefully, dancing around falsehoods, leaving wiggle room so that they don't accidentally back themselves into a corner where they have to break their word. At one point, a character accepts a deal from a fairy that seems too good to be true. A ring of immense power in exchange for whatever the fairy wants from her school backpack. He even lets her look through the backpack and remove items before picking his offering. Then, with a flourish, he removes her signature from an old test and makes his choice. Her name, and with it, her entire identity. Hey.
Oh, don't ever trust the fucking Fae. Don't trust the fucking Fae. I love seeing my brethren do what they do. If you don't know anything about me, the VTuber model I have here is only a stand-in until I eventually learn how to do shit in Blender and replace myself with a big ass fucking moth character who is very much on that Fae nonsense.
He technically never lied, right? So,
Yeah.
that's what it looks like when two people enter one of these mutually, magically binding agreements. But there's a whole other side to magical contracts that I think makes them really unique. Something far stranger than the battle of wits we just discussed. In real life, every contract has multiple parties. Even things like end-user license agreements have a person or company on the other side. But with magic, that doesn't always have to be the case.
Oh no.
With magic, we sometimes see contracts that only have one signer. This usually comes in the form of some inanimate object that essentially functions as a magical contract machine. If someone fulfills the conditions the object considers to be agreement, the contract is sealed. It's a version of the Gesh's if-then statement that actually does function as a binding agreement, a Gesh you place on yourself by fulfilling the terms of this one-sided contract, whether you meant to or not. In the anime Death Note, a teenage boy stumbles upon the titular notebook, which kills any human whose name is written in its pages. It is the tool of a
That actually is a perfect fucking example. Yeah, no, the Death Note is definitely a fucking contract.
Shinigami, a Japanese death god. The rules by which it operates are written inside the cover, including a warning that any human who uses the Death Note can neither go to heaven nor hell. Thus, while it isn't a contract in the traditional form, anyone who writes a name in the Death Note is implicitly agreeing to its terms, the power to take others' lives at will,
The
in
TOS
return
of the
for
Death Note.
eternal oblivion after their own death. And this isn't a deal made with the Shinigami who originally owned the Death Note either. In the story, they mostly just stand by as an amused witness to the whole thing. The truth is that they don't have to approve or even know which human has picked up their notebook. No, the deal is struck with the Death Note itself. There's a similar contract in the world of Harry Potter, where the Goblet of Fire is enchanted to
I don't
form
know
a
anything
binding
about
magical
Harry Potter,
contract
really.
with any student who burns a slip of paper with their name on it in the cup's fire. Those students are from that point on magically bound to participate in the dangerous and taxing Triwizard Tournament, an ancient competition between the three largest European schools of magic. But when somebody tricks the Goblet of Fire into accepting Harry's name under the false pretense of a fake fourth school, he is still bound by his contract. Harry himself didn't enter. In fact, he doesn't even qualify to compete, but it doesn't seem to matter. The Goblet of Fire is a dumb but powerful magical contract machine, and to it, burning Harry's name is the equivalent of a binding signature. Interestingly, we're never told what exactly will happen if Harry doesn't compete, just that he doesn't have the option not to. In a lot of magical contracts, the penalty for breaking your end of the deal is naturally death. Other times, the consequences are spelled out within the contract itself. But a third, and in my opinion more interesting option, is when the signatories are simply just physically unable to break their end of the deal at all, no matter how hard they try. When the magic hijacks their body of free will, forcing them to act in accord with the terms they agreed to. Trying to avoid fulfilling the contract's terms might cause their body to move on its own like a puppet. A non-disclosure agreement might literally render one unable to speak. In the world of SCP, a collaborative
Yeah.
project about anomalous items and phenomena that break the rules of physics and rationality,
SCP's fucking
there's an item
amazing.
known as SCP-350, the Unbreakable Contract. When you sign it, you literally cannot default on the obligations you made through it. It infects you with compulsion to uphold your end of the deal, so powerful that, if unfulfilled, will keep you from being able to think about anything else, including eat and sleeping. But this can also be vaguer
That's
than all
so
that as well.
fucked.
Sometimes it's not a person or an object you're entering into an agreement with. Sometimes it's just magic itself. Just you, alone, signing your name on the cosmic dotted line of fate. In the 1994 Christmas movie The Santa Claus, the main character, Scott Calvin, accidentally enters a magical agreement to become Santa Claus by putting on the suit of the Santa he just accidentally murdered, long story, and sitting in his
Yeah.
sleigh. These two actions activate the if-then acceptance conditions of a contract written on a business card in the pocket of the suit, which he didn't happen to see until after the fact. And
That's
now
such
he's
a
stuck,
fucking
with no option to back out.
By the way, I've seen this movie, and like being Santa is cool, but man, imagine if this is how any other job worked. You would be pissed, because I know I would. I'd be very angry. But hey, at least you're Santa, you know.
Out. Against his will, he begins to change per the contract's terms. He gains weight, he grows a bushy white beard, he literally becomes Santa Claus, all because a silly legal clause on a silly piece of paper that came from who knows where. With magic, a deal's a deal, regardless of who or what you make it with.
Lean cuisine.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Nope, I don't care. Let me skip it. Thank you.
This is why contracts are so compelling as a magic system. The rules the magic operates by, mysterious and concealed in other systems, are laid bare in this one. Open, visible, and freely perusable to anyone looking out for them. And, surprisingly, that doesn't make it boring.
You
Quite
can
the
be pretty
opposite.
fair with the magic.
Knowing the rules allows us to appreciate the cleverness it takes our hero or our villain to navigate them, with no need for us to understand complicated fantasy jargon, or conversely, to blindly accept an author's hand-waving, "Trust me, this is a really complicated spell and this character just found a really clever way to do it." Wording a contract in just the right way, or finding a loophole so that it doesn't come back to bite you, requires a type of cunning that anyone can enjoy and appreciate, as long as they're somewhat fluent in legalese. So, go ahead and make that deal with the devil, or genie, or troll under the bridge.
Jamie?
However much there is to lose,
That just makes me now wonder who the fuck Jamie is. Like, which Jamie in the world had to have been so monstrously nasty in their legal documentation with the people who were working on this that Jamie had to be the name that got brought up. It was like, it's Jamie. He tricked me out of $5.8 billion. I'll have to sign a deal with the devil to change his fate. And I don't know if I'll lose my soul, the world, or the mind of my insanity. But god damn it, I'll get Jamie back someday. I don't know where the fuck that even came from. Anyways, play it.
contracts go both ways, so there's also a whole lot to gain. Just be sure to read the fine print, okay? These magic system videos are some of our favorites to make. We've actually been
fucking
doing it
fun
for
as hell.
quite a while. In fact, there's some really unique ones from back in the day that we've actually never uploaded here on YouTube.
There's no way that you never uploaded these on YouTube. Because I remember the crafting, I remember the promises. I haven't gone anywhere else to see these. There's no... Unless they made similar videos. Maybe... Huh? That's fucking confusing.
One of my favorites has to be this one about artificial life as a magic system. Golems, gingerbread men, automatons, living statues, artificial intelligence. Just this idea that crafting can somehow beget life, or that life can even be used as a crafting material. It was a really fun, really unique video for us. a really fond memory for me in making these magic system videos. If you want to watch that and almost everything else we've made that we haven't uploaded here on YouTube, you can see it all ad-free over on our streaming platform, Nebula. Actually, there are so many things over there that will never be here on YouTube. Full videos.
A fantasy world with genitals. I've created some characters with a extremely unique set of those. Can't say that on YouTube though. So I understand exactly why the fuck they can't say it on YouTube either.
Like this one about a fantasy world that basically has its own gigantic geographic genitalia, or this one about the morphology of
The
angels and
world
why
has
artists are always giving them
Hmm.
wings, even though they didn't really have them in the source material. You can find all of our videos there ad-free a week earlier than they upload here on YouTube,
BRB,
plus
see you,
all
Afro.
of these exclusive videos that we only upload to Nebula. We even have an entire original series over there that we are just so proud of. Absolutely one of the coolest things
By the
we've
way, I'm
ever
gonna have
made.
all the links in the
And
description,
we
so
aren't
please
the
go
only
out there and
ones who have been
support
posting
these
there.
people.
The same is
Like, I genuinely mean this. Go out there and support the fucking people. I'm gonna have a link to even Nebula down there in the description, so you can go over there and support them as well. Okay, thank you.
true for so many other amazing creators. Names you've probably heard before, like our friend Frankie from the channel A Bit Frank, or Tim from the channel Hello Future Me.
Hello Future Me works for them too. Works with them too. Okay, I ain't never heard of Frank, but I do know Hello Future Me. Ooh.
YouTube is kind of a crazy place to make content. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
I'm happy to have this platform, but you have to be so careful about your topic choices, your packaging, what you include in your videos. You just start to feel like you're walking on eggshells. Nebula doesn't have any of those concerns. It's an entirely different environment, devoid of all the weird YouTube cynicism. The
Yep.
entire platform was made by creators for creators. Every time you watch a video there, a creator you love is getting paid, and far more than they would ever get paid on YouTube. And on top of
Interesting.
that, Nebula even helps its creators to fund incredible original content, like our series, Worldsmiths.
Goldsmiths.
And here's the really fun part, you can get Nebula for cheaper than almost any other streaming platform on the internet. Like $2.50 per month. That cheap. We want you to have access to our Nebula content, so we've managed to get Tail Foundry fans who sign up using our link a whole 40% off the usual rate. All you have to do is click the link in the description or visit go.nebula.tv/tailfoundry and sign up for 1 year. That's it. And with our discount, that first year is only going to be $30, which again comes out to just $2.50 per month. Frankly, I'm not.
Wait, 250. Sorry, for those who can't see it, on my side, I'm seeing the caption of 250 as 250. Didn't realize it. When they meant 250, they meant $2.50. Motherfucker. Oh hell yeah. Yeah, no, I would make videos on those, but due to the fact that, well, I don't want to basically I don't want to make their videos into videos and then spread them, but I will definitely try to pop over theirs at some point. Fuck yeah.
Quite sure how they can.
Also, by the way, go into the description of this video, find the original video, like and comment and subscribe on that. Thank you very much. Also for myself, it's time to fucking plug myself. Okay, like this video if you actually enjoyed it in any way. Comment if you have anything to say, and subscribe because, well, you think that I'm someone you want to come back around and support, or I'm someone who is worthy of your subscription. AKA, don't subscribe out of pity. But at the same time, you see this new layout that I have for this video? Tell me, is this good? Is this bad? Like, I need extra like input, okay, so I can tell what the fuck I'm doing is good or not. Also, at the same time, I have one other little thing to say. Okay, so it's not really an other little thing. It's more like I just got something else to say. Okay. Um, Simply put, I got a new thing. Right. It's a subscribe star. It's down in the description. There'll be a link. It will probably be the most bottom link. Okay, because their shit needs to come before mine. But if you ever decide to throw some money my way for subscribe star, thank you. That way I can try to pay the rent back to people who have been letting me stay on their couch and not be a complete bottom feeder. Okay, thank you very much. You don't have to, but you can. Um, Anyone who does so, I will probably try to make a. I don't know what the fuck you want. Okay, like I can definitely do like any 3D modeling work for you for the cost of $8. Yo, you want 3D swords, models, whatever the fuck you want rigged? I'll try to learn how to do it for you. Thank you. It will probably take time, but I do it. Anyways, bye everybody. Have a lovely